Okay, on the bench today out of a 1987 Volkswagen Vanagon, we have the very small 3-speed transmission called an 010. All right, now, I wanted to film this teardown because I haven't done one of these transmissions probably in over 30 years, okay? We're at the location we are now for 32 years. We moved from down the street because we bought this property back in 1990. And I don't think I did any of these transmissions since we're here. Back in the day, we were doing these things all the time, Volkswagen. These were in Volkswagens and Audis. And this one is slipping in reverse. So what the deal is a specialty shop that does Volkswagens and Audis called me on this a while back, and I gave him the price of the overhaul. I never heard from him, but then he called the other day and he says, you know, we had the time, it wasn't that busy, so we wanted to try to do it ourselves, so they did. And that was, I don't know, maybe a year ago, but now they said it's slipping in reverse. The fluid is nice and clean, and he just said, you know what, let me just drop it off to you to take a look at it to see what you could find. So I'm hoping that I find something. The first thing I'm gonna do here is gonna take the cooler off the back, take the pan down, take the valve body down, see if there's air checking. But I've been so busy here, I haven't even had time to do any kind of research to see where you know, the air check ports are, but because it's been so long. But this will probably be the last one that I'm doing of these, so I wanted to film it regardless, just do a tear down, just to show you guys the inside of these things. But I'm hoping it'll all come back to me as I'm working on it. So this is the transmission, and then the front, you know, it's a front wheel drive, so the diff actually bolts on, goes through these 4 studs, and the 4 nuts go on, and then your differential converter, the shafts go all the way through, and of course it attaches to the engine. So you can just pull the transmission up, but you got to pull it way back because the shafts go all the way down on the bottom, the pump's all the way in the back. So this is definitely an oldie. And let's see what we find. From what I understand, I don't remember exactly what it was doing, but he said all the forward gears of there just seems to slip in reverse. I guess more so if the people are on a hill, and I asked him about level ground, and he says, yeah, you can feel it slipping. So I guess we're going to take this apart. Let's see what we find. Hopefully we'll find something. The piston is all the way, I remember the low reverse clutch, I think, is up in the front here. The pump goes in, the piston, and then there's like the big shell that goes in that houses the clutches. But I guess we'll see, maybe find a rolled seal. I'm hoping we'll find something. So let me get a little closer. I'm going to start tearing this down. All right, just real quick. I was curious to see if I did have any information on this, so I went to my shelf and I found my Chilton book here, which was, if I opened it up, the date I believe is 1980, and the transmission is in here. This, of course, is the age before the internet. This is what we used. So I marked it and I opened it up, and this here, you can see that here is the transmission that we're going to be opening, and this is the differential, and the converter's up in front here, and the axles go in here. So it's got a couple of drums, got 3 sets of clutches and a band. The complaint is, again, slipping in reverse. He says the forward gears were good, but the direct clutch, it says direct and reverse clutch. So, you know, we got to air check everything and see what we can see if there's anything going on. So let me get a little closer and we'll start opening this. All right, now let's get the pan down. So we're going to put this up. We've got our 4 bolts here. They actually look like maybe 13. Okay. Pan is clean, of course. All right, so now we have our filter. This there's going to be a screen filter underneath that. That is the Phillips. Let's get that out. And it's been a long time. Let me just bring this down a little bit. Oh, another one. Thought there was only one. Okay. So here's like the cover. Here's the actual filter. And gasket. You know, again, the unit was recently overhauled. Okay. Now the valve body. You can only assume we're going to take all the 10s out. And then we'll see if we can air check this. All right, got one more. Should come out. All right, there's your valve body, accumulator. Let's get this accumulator out. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put my compressor on. Accumulator actually has a lip seal on it. Okay, let me go put my compressor on. Got a lot of clearance in this clutch pack here. Almost like it's missing. What if this piston came up too high or something? A lot of clearance, wow. Okay, give me 1 second. I gotta put my compressor on, let the air build up. Okay, so these three are the air checks. And actually, I never air checked the piston. That's probably through here. All right, but we have a problem reverse, so that wouldn't even be involved. So this is the low clutch, but this seems to me like there's way too much clearance in this. I'm gonna have to ask him if the same exact amount came out that went back in, but it just seems like a little too much. This is possibly the forward, because this you can hear the pressure pushing me back, and this is the, I'm thinking high and reverse. Kind of sounds like it may be leaking a little bit. You can hear that versus this. Okay, what I want to do is I'll switch angles, and I want to get on top of the transmission here, and we'll pull this thing apart. And we'll see what we can find. We can always get the pump out, or we can take it down to the drums and then air check the drums again. Give me 1 second. Okay, so let's get this little screw out here. Got a gasket here. There should be a gasket on the other side too, if I remember correctly. Okay. Take this plate off. Yeah, okay. So we got two gaskets. All right, now this ring gear. Also, this is park along the outside here. Should lift right out. Okay. And we have a washer, we have a bearing. Now Now we got the snap ring. I'm going to take the snap ring out and lift the whole assembly with the sprag out. Okay. This should lift right out. Okay, now here is to keep the sprag from turning. You have this little wedge and the snap ring fits in there too. Totally forgot about that. Okay, another washer, shell. It'll probably fold. And then you'll have another washer here. Okay, front planet, bearing. I have the ring gear. All right, so what I want to do, I want to air check these. These look like molded pistons in here. But let's get the low reverse out. Now these clutches are, you can see they're burnt. That's what they should look like, and the other side is bad. So this, I don't know, I don't think they had enough, to be honest with you, in there. Okay, so we got to do these, and I got to double check the clearance on that. So that's one. All right, so let's see now. Okay, that actually is the direct clutch, and this is the forward clutch. They didn't say anything about forward, but it looks like that piston's leaking a little bit, so I'm going to take it apart and check it. As you can see the bubbles in there. I'm going to double check that, maybe change that piston. I don't even know if they changed it, to be honest with you. Okay, so this will come off. You got a bearing here, bearing race in there. I'll take this thing apart with you guys. Okay. Also, seems like a lot of clearance in that clutch pack. Yeah, it seems like way too much, but let's check it out. All right. Also, washer here. Again, folks, 32 years at least since I opened one of these, so I apologize a little bit here. Okay. All right, so now we got a band. Looks like a reline band. Band looks okay. All right, here is your pump. So I'm going to take the springs out, which is the return spring. Here's the apply, and we'll take the whole thing. We'll check that piston under there. These things come apart in 5 minutes. Okay, so I need this. I need an extension. Get these bolts out. All right, any day now. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take the return spring out. Here's the return spring. I'm going to take the, you know what? I might have to take the servo out to get this out. So let's see if we can get this snap ring out. See if we give it a couple of taps. The guy that dropped it off was the owner, and I don't know if he's not sure. He thought something that didn't get out. Okay, so let's try to see if we can blow this thing out. I don't know how hard or easy it's going to come out. Yeah, they probably couldn't get the piston out, so they probably never changed the piston down there. Yeah, and that's not even coming out. Almost. There we go. Okay. All right, there's your. That doesn't look too good either. Okay. Now, the other rod. Okay, so this is the other for the band, the other side of the band. Slide that out. Now this will come out. Okay. And this you line up. You got a hole here for the check ball in the piston. Take this out. And hey, look at that. There's your problem. I was correct. And I haven't done one of these in 30 years. Look at that. Piston is no good. Probably came up too high, or they never took it apart. And there is your problem right here. Okay, not bad for not opening one of these in 30 years to kind of think of what the problem is. Very happy. Okay. So they probably, he said they thought they couldn't get this out. So maybe they didn't even, I don't know, maybe they didn't take it out, they just maybe re-clutched it. I'm not really sure, but I'll find out more details tomorrow. All right, so this is the direct jump. To me, this has a little too much clearance in it, so who knows, I might have stacked this thing up wrong. Okay, the clutches are new, but I gotta see what's in the kit that they gave me. See if we can do anything with that. If not, it may have to stay, but we're going to check it out. And the forward looks pretty good clearance-wise, but that piston possibly could have been leaked. Let's see. And he wasn't complaining about forward gears. Okay, this is actually a wavy. I'm assuming that it came out of here. You know, again, I didn't take it apart. Okay. You got your set of clutches here, so you got to kind of put this in. You put, I believe, the bottom plate and one clutch, and then you stack the rest up. I'm pretty sure that's the stack up here. That's how it goes. All right, so let's see if we can get this out. So this is going to go with this. Try to get this snap ring out here. This is turning on me. All right, so what I got to try to do is get behind it. Okay. All right, so we have the Belleville return spring and our piston. Yeah, this thing just fell right out of my hand. This is no good. This thing shouldn't do that. That shouldn't do that. I gotta ask him if he got the pistons for these things, because these aren't really that good. They're all gonna have to be changed. Okay. All right, so let's get out, put it here. I'll call this guy tomorrow. Here. Piston fell out again. Okay, so here is the sprig. Just gonna lift this whole thing off. That looks pretty good. Only really one way it can go on. And again, I gotta double check that clearance in that. All right, let's take a look here. All right, so what I want to do, I'm just going to put you guys on hold. I'm going to just take the snap ring out here at the foot press and we'll take a look at the piston, but I'm assuming this guy didn't change the pistons. He probably just got a kit with clutches and that's all he did. As long as I can get the parts, we can fix it up. All right, give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back and we'll finish it. Okay, then we got these. I'm going to try to leave all the springs in there. And molded piston. Okay. I don't really think the pistons were changed because these things fell right out. And these things are totally flat here. So I got to call him and see if he had trouble getting the pistons. If we can't get them, it's going to be a problem, but somebody should have them. And that's it. 1987, you know, I just tell you this. If you take this, you got your pump in here. Okay, here's your pump drive. And if you take these two bolts out, there's going to be a ball and spring right there. So just make sure that you do not lose that. Okay, I really don't have any reason to. I'll probably open this anyway, but just make sure everything is good. These rings don't even look like they were changed. Washer here. So. And again, here is our problem. This piston is totally, possibly maybe came up too high if they did the wrong clearance in the clutch pack, and on the way down it got caught and crumbled. But again, I don't believe these pistons were changed anyway. They just look very, very old. So that goes here, like that. You know, you can just line up the hole with the check ball, and then your pump would go in, springs, and that's how that works. Okay, and again, a little reverse clutch, burnt. So we got to get some parts for this. So, whatever, I'll clean it up tomorrow, put everything aside, make some phone calls, and get this thing going. So again, 1987 Volkswagen Vanagon 010 3-speed transmission, no reverse or slipped real bad in reverse, and we found the piston no good. All right, so that was a nice little trip down memory lane, as they say, because I probably, last time I did one of these may have been maybe, you know, late 80s, very early 90s, because again, we moved here. We're here in this location 32 years, and I've never done one here. So it was definitely late 80s or probably the last time I did one. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you next one.